Hi, my name is Sharon Smith, and this is my professional e-portfolio. So, a little bit about me. I am a seventh grade English language arts teacher working at an urban school district. I entered this program just because I wanted to build my technology experience and just keep growing as an educator. I could not have imagined that we would be in a world pandemic and that the landscape of public education would be so drastically changed. And a program like this would be so useful. When I entered the program a year and a half ago, I had no idea that this would be so vital. As we move through my e-portfolio, I'm going to show you several different things that I accomplished. As I was moving through this program, I thought about a lot of my personal goals and a lot of my professional goals. Like, I really wanted to know what I wanted to get out of this program. Yes, obviously, I wanted to grow as a teacher, and yes, I wanted to just expand as an educator. But I also wanted to think about, like, where will I be in 2 years? Where am I going to be in 5 years? Where am I going to be in 10 years with this degree and any other degree I plan on getting in the future? I also went on to develop a technology philosophy. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but one of the things that I find very important as I moved through this program and I was thinking about technology and I picked technology as my focus was because I really feel like technology is the future. I feel like every generation from here on out is going to be immersed in technology. We live in a global society. Everything we do is connected to technology in one way or another, whether it is, filling out a job application or meeting new friends. And I feel like technology is the element in our society that's actually going to bring people together and create more equity. And that's a really important element for me as a minority human living here in the United States of America, and then also working in an urban school district. I also developed a leadership philosophy, which is very important to me as well. As I was creating this leadership philosophy, I was thinking about the three things that I thought were most important to have in a leadership position. And the three things I thought that were most important were like the growth mindset, having an impact on the people around you. I don't just want to be a leader, but I want to be a leader who influences other people. I want to be the change. Also, I feel like I wouldn't be in this position today, creating this portfolio or accomplishing this program, if it weren't for other leaders who pushed me to try harder and who put me in leadership positions even when I felt like I might not be ready for those things. And it was because of those other leaders that I feel like I've achieved as much as I have. I have also included a resume and a professional development plan. This plan was pretty important to me because my focus, especially within this last semester, was definitely focusing on remote learning. My life has changed drastically in this past school year. I went from always teaching in face to face classrooms, yes, incorporating technology as needed. It was never a primary element of my classroom. Now in 2020, technology has become a 100% main focus. I use technology every single day. I can't teach without it. Teachers have been pushed into a position where they are now expected to be completely digital, completely remote, and know how to use technology and teach others. So I focused on that when I developed my professional plan. I wanted to make sure that I incorporated elements into my professional development plan that talk specifically about how to prepare our teachers quickly to remote teach with students to their highest capacity. I did this by first looking at my target audience. I thought about who my students were. Not only was I interested in figuring out how to help teachers, I also wanted to know how to help students because I feel like education should be student centered. So, my professional development plan didn't just include a survey for teachers to find out what they wanted in their professional development plan. I also incorporated elements about what students might need in a remote learning setting. Since parents are also a stakeholder when it comes to remote learning in more ways than they have ever been before, because not only are they parents, making sure their kids are going to school, but they are also there in their students' classrooms now because their classrooms are at home. So it's really important for me to have considered parents when creating this professional development plan because teachers also need to know how to help parents. And that was very important to me. I wanted to make sure that my professional development plan was aligned with school district required learning for professional development, but I also didn't want to give teachers something that they didn't feel like invested in, that they didn't feel like they had a voice in. So I wanted to make sure that I incorporated the district initiatives into what the teachers were already asking for, what students needed, and what parents needed. To complete this e-portfolio, I also created some evidence of my learning. As you can see, I have 3 different pages of activity evidence. So for face-to-face training videos, I did include some of those. I was very proud of the amount of technology I became acquainted with during the program. I feel like I learned a lot. I had never done things like creating videos. There's so many programs that I had never used before. There are so many tools that I had never used before. I expected to come into this program and develop a more substantial technology toolbox. I did not realize how much I would come away with. My e-portfolio does have a lot of different videos in it, as you will see as you move through. These are professional presentation videos for students and teachers. I created article reviews for several different articles that would affect teachers in remote learning settings. Some of my peer-reviewed articles are Leading with Empathy, Supporting Faculty Through COVID-19 and Beyond, Evaluation of Evidence-Based Practices in Online Learning, a Meta-Analysis and Review of Online Learning Studies, Special Education Needs, Distance Learning, Inclusion, and COVID-19, Creating Effective Collaborative Learning Groups in an Online Environment, and Supported eText, Assistive Technology Through Text Transformations. I picked these articles because all of them are related to remote learning environments, and that was my focus when I created my professional development plan. It was really important for me to read articles and become more educated when it comes to remote learning and training in this area. So as I said earlier, I did create like tons and tons of training videos on how to use different types of technology, and I tried to incorporate them in this ePortfolio as much as I could. I do have an extras area inside of my ePortfolio for extra resources, and as you can see, I tried to place a lot of my extra resources here that kind of highlighted some of the elements that I learned as I moved through the program. I had never done a task analysis before. I was developing training videos for different elements that apply to my school, like Hispanic student diversity. I also got my Google certification for fundamental knowledge, skills, and competencies needed to implement Google for educational tools. I researched tons and tons of engagement tools that could help me be a better teacher. I researched apps and scripts and add-ons that I did not know existed before this program, and that really improved my ability to help teachers and students learn technology and develop. Throughout the program, we were introduced to different models and strategies and classifications. We also developed and used different models of instruction. I also tried to create a Google Sites teaching mini portfolio to also emphasize some of the elements that I was learning throughout the program. Some of those things were creating digital portfolios, not just for teachers, but also for students, different assessment design ideas that were technology based, and connector sessions to help our students become more global, and also teachers, learning how to use connector sessions and developing different ways to incorporate global thinking in our students. All in all, I am really excited about all the different elements that I learned as I move through the instructional technology program. I know what I have to offer now. I know that I'm capable of helping other people use technology, applying technology to my work as an educator, and to improve my school. And those are kind of my focus points now moving forward from this program. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and thank you very much for looking at my professional e-portfolio.